Right. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. If you are a woman who struggles with intrusive thoughts, with having like really disturbing thoughts come into your mind out of nowhere, I want you to know that this episode is for you. I'm going to be sharing 3 simple steps to help you release those intrusive thoughts and bring more peace into your life. Hi, I'm Stephanie Lindloff. I am an eco-intuitive life coach, and I am here to help women who are struggling with anxiety to find simple strategies to reclaiming your peace. And we do this in partnership with Mother Earth. I'm so glad that you joined today. I usually am not joining from inside of my car, but we had some unexpected road construction outside of our house this morning, so I thought I would go to a local park instead. So thanks again for being here. So let's get right into it. What are intrusive thoughts? Well, intrusive thoughts are thoughts that bring us a lot of anxiety. They are often very disturbing and often are violent or have some involvement in them that really makes us feel uncomfortable. Um, they can, as I said, be highly disturbing. They can be graphic. They're just, they bring us a lot of pain and suffering. And I want you to know that they are common, that many people experience intrusive thoughts, at least in times in their life. However, if you are a woman who is already struggling with anxiety or under a great deal of stress, the chance that you will experience intrusive thoughts, disturbing thoughts, is increased. And I have experienced them throughout my life. When I first started experiencing them, I thought I was the only one. I thought that there was something wrong with me. It was very disruptive to my life. And over the years, I have come to terms with them and have learned simple strategies that help me release them and help my clients release them. And I know that they are going to work for you as well. So first of all, I just want you to know that intrusive thoughts, that disturbing thoughts are not unusual. They happen. So I want to normalize that for you because very few of us actually talk about them, especially women that are going through stress or anxiety or hormonal shifts. Mine really ratcheted up after I had each of our children and at other times in my life. So if this is something that you are experiencing, I really hope that you listen to today's episode. The other things that I want you to know is that while many people experience these intrusive thoughts or disturbing thoughts, not everybody is affected to the depth that perhaps you are or that I was. These thoughts that something horrible was going to happen, especially to my loved ones, it began a a very stressful cycle of rumination and worry. And I became so obsessed with keeping everybody safe. I didn't want anybody to go anywhere. I didn't want to go anywhere when I was at my worst in terms of dealing with intrusive thoughts. So I want you to know that if this is the level of impact that intrusive thinking is having in your life, you deserve to have relief. You deserve to be freed, to be released from the pain and suffering that these thoughts are causing you. If these intrusive thoughts if you find that they are driving your decisions, if they are having any bearing at all on your decision making in your life, about how you lead your life or how the decisions that you make about your children or about your spouse, contributing to their decisions about their life, I want you to know that intrusive thoughts are creating suffering for you that is unnecessary. Also, if they are causing you to believe that the simple act of thinking those thoughts might make them come true, I want you to know that that is also a false belief, and it is really causing you a lot of pain and suffering. Just because you have a thought does not mean that it is true. I'm going to say it again. Just because you have a thought does not mean that it is true. Our thoughts are generated from our brains, and our brains are always trying to protect us. So, intrusive thoughts are really a showing of how your brain is working to protect you, even from the most outlandish, crazy, wild ass scenarios. That is what your brain is trying to do for you. And that is why, in part, that you are having these disturbing thoughts, these, terrible images in some cases. And just as an example of how much this can make an impact in your life, when years ago, I would say about 8 to 10 years ago, I was extremely nervous. I was stressed out. My my daughter at the time, she would have been like 3 or 4. She called me the stressed out mom. I was worrywart mom. I was always worrying about everything. And I started to realize that so many of these worries were being generated from these thoughts that were so wild and unrealistic that the chance that they could happen was infinitesimally small. And yet my brain kept bringing them up because my brain was trying to protect me from all possible scenarios. As a result, I said no to a lot of opportunities that would have been eye opening or door opening for me. I would have said at the time, I said no to opportunities for my daughter. I, kind of dissuaded my husband from going after certain opportunities because I was a nervous wreck. I was stressed and my anxiety was really out of control. So if you are feeling that you're in a place like this, I want you to know that there is so much hope. There is so much hope. You can get through this. And I want to share you the 3 simple steps that I have used in my life and in the lives of several clients and students of mine and loved ones of mine who have also experienced the pain and suffering that intrusive thinking can create in our lives. So, the first thing that I want you to know, the very first step, and this might seem like, well, I don't know how this is going to help me, but I guarantee that it will. The first step is to recognize that you are having an intrusive thought as it is happening. Just observe it, recognize it. You don't have to get into the nitty gritty details of the horrible thing that your brain is spinning out for you. I'm not telling you to flesh it out into a, motion picture movie. I'm just telling you that it helps to recognize when it is happening. Acknowledge that you are in the middle of having an intrusive thought and simply witness the fact that you are there. By observing this, you are already taking control. You are already questioning the fact that your thoughts are true, and that shortcuts the series of events that then happens within your body where you start worrying and you start wondering, well, is this really possible? And could this happen? And oh my God, what if? And what if? And how do we prevent this from happening? You want to shortcut that. You want to just stop it right there, bring it to a hard stop, allow yourself to recognize that that intrusive thought is in process and just be there. Just thank your brain. Yes, thank your brain in that moment for being so protective of you. Thank your brain for doing its job, for spinning out all of these completely unlikely scenarios for you. Just thank your brain and let it know this is an intrusive thought. I do not believe this thought. I do not believe this thought. This is my brain protecting me from a completely unlikely scenario. That is step one. That is a huge step. Just acknowledging that you are in that moment right there. Okay? That is going to really set you up for so much relief and the ability to release this thinking for yourself. Step two is to immediately send yourself compassion. Bring your hands to your heart center and just send yourself so much love. Let yourself know that you are safe in that moment, that you are safe, that you have a beautiful brain that is just overprotective right now. Acknowledge that your brain is in that state and that your body does not need to follow because you have cut off that domino effect that can start off so easily from having an intrusive thought. Okay, so step one is to recognize that your beautiful brain is going into ultra protector mode. Step two is to send yourself compassion and to recognize, wow, I am so powerful because I can see, I can take a step back and recognize that just because I think it doesn't mean that it's true. And just think of all of the times that you were unable to do that. Think of all of the times that you just simply believed what your brain was putting out there for you, however unlikely and, graphic and violent and disturbing those thoughts can be. Know that they are not true. This is your brain going nutso to protect you. And I'm not saying you're nuts. I'm just saying that your brain is spinning out of control. So we want to bring back to your power, come back to your heart, to your knowing that you are safe, that you are safe, okay? Step three, and this is really the kicker. This is where Mother Earth steps in and provides you with so much support. That is, especially here in the fall in the Northern Hemisphere, to look at how Mother Earth releases things. Especially here in the fall, the leaves are being released from trees. This is something that can give us so much loving guidance and support by just simply watching the leaves come down from the trees gently. They are not being shoved away. They are not being pushed away. They're not being, cut off in this violent, aggressive way. It is simply a release, a gentle release. And that is exactly what you are able to do with your intrusive thoughts. This is not about pushing them away or resisting them. This is the time to allow the thoughts to simply release. You might find that they dissipate into little particles of light. You might find that they just blow away in the wind. You might find that they just gradually fall to the earth to be composted, recycled into something beautiful, something that is life affirming, that supports you throughout your life. This is really an energetic process of imagining that you are releasing the energy that those intrusive thoughts can really take up in your life. Okay? So the idea of release, of gentle release, is really key to this. So that is the third step. Step number one is to acknowledge and recognize that the thought is happening while you are having it, and to recognize that just because you think it doesn't mean that it is true. Step one is huge and so empowering, not only with respect to releasing intrusive thoughts, but in all aspects of your life. So allow yourself to acknowledge and just witness the fact that you are having an intrusive thought. You don't need to get into the nitty-gritty details of it. Just acknowledge it, All right. Step number 2 is to extend your self-compassion for having this thought, for recognizing that you are having this thought, and for understanding that you have not had this level of awareness in the past, and it's kicked off all sorts of a domino effect that has generated worry and stress and pain and suffering in your life. That doesn't need to be the case. Coming back to your heart, coming back to your self-compassion and to the love that is there. Okay? And also, that is a time to thank your beautiful brain for working so hard to keep you protected. But you can always be the one that it is in charge. Your brain is not in charge. You, your soul, your essence, your spirit is in charge. So, step number 1 is to acknowledge that the thought is happening. Step number 2 is to send yourself compassion. And step number 3 is to connect with Mother Earth to see how she releases, especially the leaves that are being released from the trees at this time of year. Imagine how gently these trees are releasing the leaves. Imagine perhaps that a wind has come up and has gently released the leaves. Picture your intrusive thoughts as leaves that can gently be released and that can float away and return to the earth to be composted, transmuted into soil, into life-affirming energy once again. And know that you have the ability to do this for yourself. So those are the 3 simple steps. They are simple steps. It is a practice. Just as I teach with everything, just doing the steps one time will give you a taste of it, but the real healing happens with the regular practice. And I have to tell you that it has made a huge difference in my life. Actually, as I am filming this, my husband is in the sky above the Atlantic Ocean, returning from a trip that I encouraged him to go on to visit some friends. Really a once in a lifetime opportunity for him. And I have to tell you, just a few years ago, I would not have been so supportive of him doing a trip like this because I would have been a nervous wreck that something was going to happen. I encouraged him. In fact, I kind of had to, give him a little nudge to go do this because I knew that it was going to be a great opportunity for him. I was able to recognize those intrusive thoughts as I was having them and to send myself compassion and allow those thoughts to be released so that I could come to clarity about the amazing opportunity that was in front of him and that I was able to support my husband in that. So, this is something that can be applicable every single day of your life, especially if you have found that those intrusive thoughts are having an impact on the decisions that you are making for yourself and the way in which you are supporting your loved ones. So I really hope that this episode has helped you find a simple process, a simple 3-step process for releasing intrusive thoughts once and for all. If this teaching resonated for you, and if you are struggling with anxiety, with self-doubt, with intrusive thoughts, I would love to support you. I have been there, my friend, and I have developed so many strategies in partnership with Mother Earth to support you and to make your life so much more fulfilling and full of peace. If you would like to learn more about eco-intuitive coaching, I encourage you to click the link down below or simply go to ournaturalwisdom.com/breakthrough. There you can book your free one-on-one breakthrough session, and we will discover how eco-intuitive coaching can bring so many gifts to your life. I look forward to hearing from you, and I look forward to touching base with you again next week for another episode of Reclaim Your Peace with Mother Earth. Thanks again for joining me. Bye-bye.